look, as always, we're going to get it started off with yourself. So can you give us a brief overview of your background?
Yeah, so I born in Australia and grew up over in Europe, so Malta, England, and Scotland, and then came back to Australia when I was 21. So I had played football in Malta and England and Scotland as part of my youth career and a little bit of seniors, and then came back to Australia in 2004, initially to run a sports marketplace, a product marketplace. Called Soccer Store, and at the same time started coaching and really got heavily into coaching. And at the time, e-commerce wasn't really as widely used as it is today. So even setting up an online payments, you had to go directly to a bank and using merchant facilities and those types of things. So we just ended up switching that to wholesale and direct to clubs and schools. And then in 2008, after starting coaching in 2004 as well. I started doing that full time and worked at a variety of different clubs. I had about 8 to 10 different coaching jobs at the time. Wow. And so after 4 years of doing that, got a bit tired and was looking for an opportunity in football, pretty much globally, to just to work for one organisation. I have to have 10 different uniforms or jerseys in the back of my car and switch. You don't want to wear the wrong one to a club. And so I got an opportunity to go and coach over in Fiji with Fiji football in 2008, and then staying there till 2011. We got to work across pretty much all their national teams, primarily all their junior national teams, but even futsal, beach soccer, the women's sides, both junior and senior, and end up becoming assistant to the technical director there. And then in 2011, moved back to Australia with Football New South Wales. So I worked as a coaching development manager, looking after the southern New South Wales region of New South Wales, so pretty much Gerringong right down to the Victorian border, and then up and around Kumias to near the Macarthur area. So pretty big area. Was there for pretty much 2-3 years, and then came down to Victoria to work in the National Premier League space. So in New South Wales at the time, in southern New South Wales, they weren't allowed to have a National Premier League side because we're too regional. Came down, started being involved with Box Hill United as their technical director, and then moved to Northcote City after about 3 years. And when I moved to Northcote City, started my own sports consultancy. So found that having that transition to working with national sporting organisations and state sporting organisations with a really professional administrative setup to clubs, even in a full-time capacity, where I was as a technical director at Box Hill, let's say, you're dealing with committees who are kind of volunteer-led and often parents. So they have different ideas in terms of what's the best for the club. So setting up the sports consultancy, I felt that we wanted to continue working with these clubs, but provide them with some options in terms of how to professionalise their committees and the running of their club and hiring and management of their coaches, because often they're firing coaches for small areas where if you could just upskill those coaches or upskill the support staff of the club and improve the communication, improve the administration, often you're solving the problem, right? And you're retaining those years of experience at the club. So that was with Dynamic Sports Solutions, and through that, I had a lot of involvement working with coaches and with clubs and schools and obviously with parents as well. One of the big issues that the coaches felt was they really struggled to market themselves online. Football's traditionally quite a conservative sport, and people don't really, especially coaches, they don't really want to promote themselves too much online. They're seen as being a pumper, where they're talking themselves up too much. But only really ex-professional players who had a really good media career, maybe post-playing or from their high-profile playing career, were able to really transition into those good coaching roles, and that was because of the media. So, if you didn't promote yourself, you didn't market yourself, then you wouldn't be able to be in the mindset for those positions. So basically, through that process, in 2016, 2017, we came up with the idea for training, because we kept on having these clubs asking us for coaches. They didn't have good networks. Parents wanted to know, who could do some extra training with their child. Older players weren't really sure who to use, who's a good coach. Often people have a really good Instagram profile or Facebook profile or website, but it doesn't mean they're a great coach. And on the other hand, some people have really good coaching qualifications, doesn't mean they're a people person either. So we wanted to, and because we were referring these users to these coaches anyway, we thought we were sure that we can kind of automate this process. So initially we just started listing the coaches on our platform, and then looked at kind of some software where we could schedule and book and pay the coaches. But back in 2016, 2017, there wasn't anything really great out there specific for this problem. So initially, we decided to develop it ourselves, which had we known how hard it would be now, if you had that in hindsight, not sure if we'd be here now, but it's been a great learning experience to get where we are. So that's how kind of Train evolved and came about.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to check out more of our content, go to sporttechdaily.com or follow us on social media across Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram.